At the T-minus 3-minute mark, tape recorders on board the spacecraft were turned on. These recorders record both voice and data. Now building up to 7.7 million pounds of thrust. And we have a liftoff. Moving back. The Saturn V lifting off of power.
WOMMLP operating out of Burlington, Vermont. 105.9 The Radiator, The Rocket Shop. I'm your host, Tom Proctor. And with me tonight is Jake Warman, aka Pissant.
Hi friends, how's it going?
How's it going, Jake?
It's going pretty well, can't complain. I love the rain, and the temperature's not too bad. I have a little bit of a cold, so I apologize if I come out a little nasally.
Summer cold's the worst.
It is the worst.
I'm okay with the rain only due to the fact apparently it's going to be nice next week.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, right. I'm kind of getting a bit fed up with this August weather.
Hey, I mean, at least you don't have to haul compost in like 89-degree weather. As soon as it gets cold, I love it.
Life. Maybe I do that for fun.
I mean, that would surprise me because I do it for work. I mean, it's a little fun.
For the record, I don't. Jake, we usually get going with a song so everyone can kind of figure out what you're about. So do you want to kick us off with a tune?
Absolutely. This is a song called Be a Man.
All right.
Talk about it, no, we won't talk about it. We're gonna keep doors closed tonight. But I wanna feel the wind cutting across my bare skin, heading for the skyline out of sight. There seems to be something toxic all around me, turning me into a monster, not a man. You never told me what it meant to be a man. Grow up, you told me, son, and buy yourself a little plot of land. Build yourself a castle and dedicate it to your manhood. Tell me that I have been a good father. No, I never understood. Even though I never understood. Yeah, even though I never understood. I always wondered what my life would be like if you were the ones in therapy, not me. Do you think you disciplined me with any less consistency? Would you see me for who I wanted to be? I took a path that was late, but maybe that was my mistake. But how dare you tell me? You never knew what it meant to be a man. Grow up, you told me, son, and buy yourself a little plot of land. Build yourself a castle and dedicate it to your manhood. Tell me that I have been a good father. No, I never understood. I understood, even though I never understood. Yeah, even though I never understood. It's funny, despite that song, I have a pretty decent relationship with my father. He doesn't really understand, but, you know, what parent does?
I was going to say, there's a lot of angst in that song.
Oh, yeah.
How was writing that for you?
Oh, it was really tough. I tend to do this thing where I write about exactly what I'm feeling, and I was feeling particularly not great about what was going on with my family. The last day of my tour got spoiled over some wacky family stuff I won't get into, but...
So you wrote your feelings?
Exactly.
Is that generally how you create most of your songs? Are you kind of like spur of the moment?
It's very much spur of the moment. I can't force any sort of songwriting. Things just sort of come out of me when they can. One moment. Oh, I just don't want my tea to fall over. I apologize. Anyway, so let me see what I got next for you here. Oh, okay. So now I got to reach down again. I need to find a way to attach all of these things. I need like a utility necklace I can attach stuff to so I can grab it. Exactly. Here's another pretty sad song for you. It's called Too Young, and I'll explain a little bit about it after the song.
Take it away.
Oops, I'm messing up already. And we can hold these feelings inside anymore, and we'll see by and by that this feeling will never die. And here I am as a friend, and I will carry you into the dark, and we'll see in every way through the darkness to the day. You know it's very sad that you're going, taken from this earth way too young. And I'll always hold the memory of you dear, and play those songs you love to hear. And I hope you won't mind if I shed a little tear in your honor, because I miss you. The implication was never clear. Here I am, head in hands, waiting for the rain to come, knowing someday I may fly through the darkness to be by your side. You know it's very sad that you're going, taken from this earth way too young. And I'll always hold the memory of you dear, and play those songs you love to hear, and play those songs you never hear. Yeah. Nice. So there's that one, a little bit sad.
What was that one called again?
That one's called Too Young. It's about a friend of mine a couple years ago that overdosed from heroin. Really, really sad affair. And I literally picked up the guitar the moment after I got off the phone with my friend who told me, and I wrote that song. And songwriting and music has really always been a good way for me to deal with what I'm going through and what I need to process, and helps me put words to things I can't often put words to.
You've got other tracks that references, drugs and whatnot. The latest one that came out, Little Pink Pills. Is that along the same lines, or is it about narcotics at all?
It is. So back in high school, I had a problem with opiates, and the pills I used to get from this kid on my bus were these little pink pills, and I wrote a song. I haven't done those drugs in a really long time, but I just wrote a song processing that time in my life that I never really had a chance to process, and it felt good to just like get it out in the open and say things that I felt scared or ashamed to say, but they're just part of everyone's experience.
I will say, looking in your Bandcamp, I really, really like the artwork. You've got so many of your your singles and also the names of the tracks are fantastic. Or the EPs are great as well. Grinko Town. Or Grinkgo Town.
I might have put an R in there. It's ginkgo town. So ginkgo is a kind of leaf that grows, and you're supposed to be able to put it into a tea to help your memory. But we always joke that there's not a lot of people who have very good memories in Burlington for various reasons. I can't imagine why, but so we were like, oh, in a town full of ginkgo, all we can find are spunions, which is a phrase I don't feel like I need to explain.
Who does your artwork, by the way? Because some of the covers for these singles are fantastic.
I do everything myself. I went to school originally for graphic design, and it's something I like to do and I'm passionate about. I make posters and logos and all sorts of other stuff that I like to do. And it's funny because even when I had other people in my band, I was kind of always the one doing everything. I'm like, come on, guys, let's record. Come on, everyone, let me make some art. Check this out. And eventually, at some point, I'm going to put out another album. I have an entire album. It's some of the best work I've ever done, and I just re-listened to the tracks a while ago. And I'm so excited to put it out. So if anyone out there knows how to master Logic X Pro tracks, hit me up. Hit me up at Pissant. I want to get this album done. But
I was going to say, so you're kind of piggybacking off the comment where you said you're the driving force behind your band. When there was, three of you?
So the band at a time had as many as 5 members. Okay. So we've gone through a lot of lineup changes here and there for various reasons, people moving on with their life. But the original 3 were me, Merlin, and Kendra. And we just had a fantastic sound together. We just really vibed so well, and it was just such a wonderful, group to have. I've never felt so comfortable in a band environment, and we just had a lot of fun doing what we were doing. We were all songwriters, but something I always had to do is I had to, book all the shows. I had to make all the artwork, and it's not necessarily that anyone was making me do that. I totally just took it upon myself, and any of my ex-bandmates will tell you I'm a little bit of a control freak, but we've had upright bass, we've had banjo, accordion, viola, all sorts of instruments on my album that I want to have coming out. We're going to have all, tambourine washboard, harmonica, guitar, bass, ukulele. It's a cacophony of sound, and that's why I need someone to help me put it all together, make sense of it.
What would be your dream setup? Like how many members of the band, what instruments? What would be that kind of dream ideal setup?
So my dream band would be me just singing. Not that I don't love playing instruments, but I would love to just sing so I can roll around the stage. I want to sing. I want a guitar player, a banjo player, an accordion player, and one horn player of literally any variety. I don't care if it's tuba. I just feel like horns make everything better.
That's very much the truth. My roommate plays in a band with trumpet, trombone, and an MC.
No way.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Trumpet or trombone or tuba. Or, let's stick in a French horn.
I met a guy who plays a hurdy-gurdy the other day, and I was like, if you ever want to play music, let me know. I'll let you play hurdy-gurdy in my band.
Stick in the track. Going back to that previous comment, though,
yes.
Of you doing quite a lot, there was a real flurry of activity start of last summer, going all the way to about October, it looked like, where you got an EP out, you toured extensively, you've got a few singles out, obviously you're showing off posters and whatnot as well. Tell me about last summer, what happened there?
So I was unemployed, I was having a great time. I had all this free time to do all the music stuff that I wanted to. I had access to a lot of different musicians. Unfortunately, we had toured, and my bandmate Merlin, he travels during the summertime, so he left as soon as we were done tour, started traveling the country. And Kendra she was just about to finish school, and she wants to be a teacher, so she wanted to focus on that. Totally respectable, I completely understand. So I just, while all this other hectic stuff was going on, I thought it was free time to record, so I would just bring as many friends as I could through. I'm like, hey, do you want to throw down on this track? Hey, Kendra, I know you're not playing with us anymore, but can you just sing on this one track? I would love to have it. And I even stumbled upon a couple old tracks of all of us playing together from, it must have been 2016, and I'm going to have those on the album too as kind of bonus tracks, but it'll be good. But yeah, I just had a lot of free time last summer, and I started my own business, so I've been doing that a lot, and I've been working with kids, and I've still been writing music and playing shows as often as I can, but when life gives you other opportunities, you got to do what you can with them.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's about time for another song, so what have you got for us?
Let me see here.
on my set list it says make Wonderwall joke. I'm not going to do that. This is a song called Once a Liar, and it's about how I used to be a really, really, really awful person who lied about stuff all the time. And I've tried really hard to be better, and dealing with one of those things was writing some music. There's something.
At least you're being honest with the song.
Exactly. I try to be as honest as I can. Sometimes I think I'm more honest in my music than I am with myself, because I'll write about a thing, and I'm like, no, I'm just writing music about some stuff. It's nothing personal. And then I'm like, this is exactly what I'm dealing with. Anyway.
Maybe you should turn your life into like some kind of musical.
Oh God. maybe a dark, the graphic novel. But anyway, this one's Once a Liar.
Take it away.
Well, hello, my dear. I didn't see you standing there at the edge of tears, and number two here anymore of the lies that I spouted so needlessly from my mouth, and I don't know why I even try to hide it. I am deep inside, and I'll cry to the sky, begging God, oh, why do you allow me to be in a constant state of indignity? 'Cause it's just what I deserve. 'Cause maybe someday I will be forgiven. Maybe someday it won't matter at all. The path of truth I have forsaken, but still I have the goddamn call. Here we go again as we upend the land, leave behind us a path of utter destruction. Instruction from the dungeon of loving. Give me something I never knew was coming, and I don't even know why. But I cried for weeks for no reason at all, it seems. And at this point I'm willing to tell myself anything at all. Ugh. 'Cause maybe someday I will be forgiven. Maybe someday it won't matter at all. The path of love I have forsaken, but still I had the goddamn call. That was probably the first one I was like, oh, I'm really sick. It's a hard one for me to play.
The summer cold getting catching into your throat there.
I'm going to just drink a copious amount of tea real quick.
So I'll ask questions very slowly.
Oh, yeah, please.
One of the things I noticed, going back to the graphic design element, is you've got a very bold logo. 2 assault rifles crossed, one with a guitar head and one with a violin head. I mean, the symbolism there is relatively obvious, but, you know, from the horse's mouth.
Well, originally when I was putting it together, I just wanted to make something cool, and I feel like I always set out to do a thing without really having any real intention, and my deeper intention kind of comes forward as I'm doing it, so I'm like, oh, this doesn't mean anything, and the more I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, this is kind of like, you know, there's so much violence in the world, and like really taking that energy and putting it towards something more like music, because I was dealing with a lot of rage when I first started Pissant, and like all of that violence and all of that energy, like using music as a way to get through that, and especially playing music with other people. And originally it was just me and Merlin, so I was like, the guitar, the violin, it'll be perfect. And originally it just started with a circle, and then we added Kindred to the band, and we're like, okay, you play washboard, you play guitar, you play ukulele, how can we find a way to like make this all work? And she's like, well, I wear flower crowns all the time, so let's put a flower crown on there. And it worked perfectly.
Nice.
And I really think, if anything else, we have a cool logo. I don't know about our music, though.
So it's pretty good. Actually, talking to the music, you described as folk punk. So is that folk with swear words? Is that punk without electric? What's folk punk?
When people ask me that, I always tell them the same thing. It's basically just like punk with bluegrass instruments. It's angry, personally charged music, but done with folkier instruments. For some reason, I don't like playing on an electric guitar nearly as much as I like playing my acoustic instruments. It feels warmer and more natural in my hand, but I'm still angry. I'm still really upset, and I still want to, make that come forward. So I just play harder on my acoustic guitar, and I feel like it comes out in a way that like, oh, I could hit a distortion pedal and people can know how angry I am, or I can really show them. Yeah. Someone, I think it was even maybe Jake here at Big Heavy World, who told me about Elvis Costello, who used to be called Stone Hands because he used to play really heavily, and I break strings all the time, so I feel that sentiment.
I was gonna say, how many strings or how many of your guitars have you gone through?
A lot. I used to be really into buying and selling guitars from this flea market I used to live near, and so at one point I think I had 17 guitars, and my parents were like, you need to get rid of all of these. And I was like, can I just get rid of 12 of them? And they're like, fine.
So that's a solid compromise. That's like 70%. We should have started lower. So from the sound of it, you've been pretty musically inclined for many years. How did that whole thing get started?
So I picked up a guitar because my friend Paul picked up a guitar, and I was like, I think Paul's gonna get more chicks than I can. I think I want to get more chicks. So I started playing guitar, and I was like, wow, I'm awful. I'm not going to get chicks playing guitar.
That is by far the most classic reason anyone has ever played guitar.
Oh, I totally admit it. It was so funny because I just was really jealous, and this person has been in my life for a really long time, and it's funny that I kind of clinged to music a lot more than they did. I did it as a way to kind of impress them and impress other people around them, and I apologize if my tuning is getting in the way of my vocals here. But anywho, yeah, so I just thought it would be cool, and then I was like, well, this is kind of fun. I really like doing this, and I just kept playing, and I'll never forget this one moment my dad came upstairs and I was playing something, and he's like, Jake, for years, your mother and I, we never told you, but you were just absolutely terrible. You were just so bad, and now you're really not so bad. And he just walked out, and I was like, thanks, Dad.
That's a mic drop right there.
Yeah, just left the room. I was like, okay, thanks, Dad. I hope he sees this live stream and remembers that.
Well, very, very honest from your father as well. So obviously you're getting that from somewhere.
Oh yeah, no, I get a lot. My family was always very open with one another. All right. So I got another fun song for you. This is the most recent song that I wrote. I'm going to apologize that the majority of the music that I'm playing tonight is going to be really sad. But I promise you that I'm smiling while I'm playing that music. So I don't have a name for this song. I've been calling it Overwhelmed because that's how I felt when I wrote it. But it's a working title. Again, if you have any suggestions, let me know. So.
I'll think about it while you're playing.
I can hear the sound of my bones crumbling under the weight. I think of myself as at least what gives me the right. I feel responsible for mankind in all its plight. But there is nothing I can do that will take away these blues. Like a ship that's lost at sea, trapped down at 20,000 leagues. but I can only blame myself. I'm not even concerned about my own gosh darn health. I think I need some help, but only time will tell. I can feel a blackout coming, bringing darkness all around me. I can think of nothing better than being able to get some sleep. I will take a little solace, little bit of personal relief. But it's so scary out there, out in that big old world. So much that I can't do, despite everything that's happening in the world. But I can only blame myself. I'm not even concerned about my own gosh darn health. I think I need some help, but only time will tell. And only time will tell, but only time will tell.
Pissant there with song number 200.
Yeah. I honestly have a folder somewhere in a Google Drive that just says Pissant songs, and there's like 50 or 60 songs in there, and it's completely ridiculous. And there's so many just like half-written or songs we'll never play because we can only play them together. So
I think that track would, well, I mean, the obvious name for that track is Time Will Tell.
you think so?
I mean, you say it several
I'm not
times.
usually. I'm not usually.
It's
I'm
got
not
it written down as
usually.
well. So Unwelcome Epiphany.
A welcome epiphany. I
Sounds
like
fun.
that. I like that a
Fun
lot.
sound.
That's a good one because I don't really like to. I'm not one of those people who likes to take a piece of the song unless I say it like over and over again. But
it's
speaking
so
of
fun.
songs, I say the same thing over and over again. I'm gonna switch to ukulele.
Oh, nice.
As a one person band, I have a propensity to try to make myself stand out. So I like to play a lot of instruments. So I only have a couple songs on each one, but it's still fun. So this is my buddy Jake's favorite song. It's called Richard Trenton Chaser, and it's about a serial killer in Sacramento who used to drink people's blood. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I promise I'm not insane.
From an early age you were a bad seed, but I'm sure the abuse wouldn't help indeed. You were displaying the McDonald's triad, you see, with a healthy interest in rotting road made. You were a sick boy indeed. The drugs and the booze wouldn't help you soothe, but they helped you develop the hypochondrial blues. Your roommates didn't want to deal with you nude. If they only knew the horrible things that you'd do. Richard Trenton Chaser, covered in blood running through the desert. Why they let you go, I'll never know. The vampire of Sacramento, the vampire of Sacramento. Every open door to you was your home. There wasn't anywhere that you wouldn't go. Every house was a new buffet, and you better believe blood's on the menu today. I I bet they're sorry that they ever let you go, 'cause now they've got you on death row for the murder and dismemberment of 6 in tow. But you took the coward's way, or so I'm told. Richard Trenton chaser, covered in blood running through the desert. Why they let you go, I'll never know. Vampire of Sacramento, the vampire of Sacramento.
All right, Vampire
That rasp was
Sacramento.
totally unintentional.
I can hear your voice going there. So, out of interest,
Yeah.
what drew you towards that story? That's an interesting one.
That's about this guy, Richard Trenton Chase. I believe it was in the 50s or 60s. Anyway, this totally wacko dude. He had like a really messed up childhood and all this other stuff that would lead one to become a serial killer. But my favorite story about his lineage, they just like, in this desert in the middle of nowhere, they just found him running around covered in blood, these like police officers, and they're like, dude, what's going on? Why are you covered in blood? And he's like, it came from within me. And they're like, okay, where did you come from? And he wouldn't tell them, so they just followed the trail of blood back to his truck, which was also covered in blood. And in the back was a bunch of buckets full of organs and other blood, and they're like, oh my God, we need to bring this guy in. So they bring him in.
That
And
was the moment that they thought they should bring him in.
well, no, it gets worse. It gets worse. So they find out that all of it's bovine blood. It's all just cow blood. So they're like, oh, whatever, just let him go. Like, why would you let that guy go? This person seriously has a
At least
problem.
take him to the hospital.
Exactly. Make sure that he's a little okay. If he's running around and he said all of it came from out of him, oh my
Yeah.
goodness. So, yeah, I was like, this is a hilarious enough and ridiculous enough, like, story that I can make a song about it to, like, make light of it. Because I don't want to make light of awful things, but...
Well, yeah, we are 70 years past that time now, so I think we're okay in terms of making a little bit of light
Precisely.
of that one. So tell me what's coming up next for you. So you said you got an album on the way. You just wanted to get that mastered. And you're looking to start touring again?
I would love to start touring again. I have a ton of touring connections now because I spent a year just booking shows and making friends and learned how to work the internet machine and got a lot of good contacts. So that's been good. And if worse comes to worse, all of my friends know someone else, so I can just get pointed in the right direction at least.
Are you planning on doing a full East Coast tour, or are you planning to just do like a local New England tour?
So owning a business and having 2 dogs is a little bit tough when you're trying to leave, because you have to find someone who can cover both of those things. And they're my babies. It's hard to hand them off to just anyone. So, but I am looking to hire. So if anyone wants to haul waste for a really good wage, look up No Waste Compost. Sorry, I'm making a lot of plugs, by the way.
All good. Oh, No Waste Compost. I think I've seen you guys advertise on Black Market.
Yep, that's me. I'm all over the black market. The Champlain black market, Black Market U. I don't actually operate on the black market.
Not like an actual shady black market.
I'm a shady person, but I don't operate on the black market.
I always thought when I was a kid that was an actual thing. I could actually go to the black
Same.
market one day.
I want to check out though, because
I want a Michigan Good. Where can I get one of them?
See, when I was a
7-year-old
kid,
me.
I always imagined it was this flea market I went to, because like it literally, I was like 9 and I would go up and they'd be like, hey kid, do you want to buy a knife? And I'd be like, yeah, I want to buy a knife. Whoa, whoopsies, dropping my stuff. I got.
You know exactly how to sell to children.
Yeah, I remember, and it's funny, I used to buy like all sorts of stuff before I was like able to buy it anywhere else, just because it was there. I was like, I have a funny story, but I don't think I can tell it on this radio station. It doesn't involve any curse words, but it describes a specific object that we found, an antique version of something inappropriate.
Oh,
it was hilarious, though.
Something that potentially gives someone splinters. So what's one other thing? So influences wise, I was listening to you earlier on, and it was really annoying me because there was something about your voice and about the tunes that reminded me of something that just came to me in the last couple of songs, and that's Brand New. You're not liking that?
I don't like Brand New at all.
No.
It's really funny. I mean, I get a lot of that like post rock, post punk kind of like singer songwriter influence. But honestly, at least for me, the people I feel most influenced by are people like Neutral Milk Hotel, people like James Taylor.
Neutral Milk Hotel definitely.
Yeah, I love just like storytelling music, and Neutral Milk Hotel taught me that like great music didn't have to be complicated, because I was like a diehard metalhead. I played in hardcore bands. I was shredding all the time. That was all. I was like, if music isn't complicated, it's not good music. And when I listened to Neutral Milk Hotel, it was the first time I was like, this music music is beautiful and it means so much, but it's so simple, and that's kind of where I went writing-wise. And then I'm influenced by people all over the folk punk industry, Days and Days, and Matt Pless, and goodness, I actually wrote a song based on someone I booked a show for. I booked a show for this band, The Hills and the Rivers. They're not really folk punk, but they're just like in that same sphere, and I wrote a song recently kind of like one of their styles. But
nice.
Anyway, speaking of some folkier stuff, I'm going to play some banjo.
Well, we were running out a little bit out of time.
Oh,
on this
that's
one.
okay.
So, should we make this one the last one? What
Yeah, this will be the last one. So this is I guess it's still sad, but it's played with happy chords at the very least. So we got that going for us.
One of those songs that sounds really happy, but then when you get deep down into it, it's just as much.
That's why I love ska music, because it's so upsetting and it's all about all sorts of terrible stuff, but it's got horns and happy tunes. Excuse me, my goodness. I always tell my kids, I'm like, burp or fart as loud as you can, but always say excuse me. All right, this is a song called Nuclear Fission. I'm going to point this way, so it's actually right direction. There we go.
Stop going to local shows. Maybe I'm getting too old, I suppose. Is this a chapter of my life on which I'm ready to close? Heck no is what I'd say, but I just can't get out of bed today. Maybe the dope is starting to erode my will to get up and go. My will to get up and go. I'm just trying to survive and make these feelings inside of me subside. Thinking of what to say to make my loved ones go away, but I can't be trusted to make those right decisions. People tell me it ain't that hard, but it might as well be nuclear fission. Yeah, it might as well be nuclear fission. The only thing that I've ate today were those 2 bowls in the morning full of Mary Jane. And I'm not usually one to complain, but I'm starting to split in twain. Going through the motions, just enough to get by, but all that I can think about is how bad I'd rather be getting high. Maybe I'll die, so why even try? At least then my head will be as high as the sky. As high as the sky. 'Cause I'm just trying to survive and make these feelings inside of me subside. And when I had a whole band, I would go pick it up now. Thinking of what to say, make my loved ones go away, but I can't be trusted to make those right decisions. People tell me it ain't that hard, but it might as well be nuclear fission. Yeah, it might as well be nuclear fission. Woo! Not bad for someone who's pretty sick.
No, I'm surprised you managed to get this song, to be honest. Jake, absolutely wonderful having you on. Do you want to do some last plugs?
Oh, thanks so much. I mean, thanks to Big Heavy World, and thanks to Jim, and thanks to Jake and the whole crew, and thanks to you for being a great host, and thanks for everyone listening. I'm super nervous, and I'm trying not to let it play over the radio, but I'm doing okay. Yay! So this has been a blast, and Big Heavy World is great. And shout out to anyone using No Waste Compost. I love you.
And what about your website as well? if anyone wants to.
Oh yeah, if you want to listen to my music, everything on my Bandcamp is super old, but pissantmusic.bandcamp.com is where you can find the majority of stuff that's out there. If I would suggest to listen to anything, I would say The Demos is the most complete album with the best songs on it. Please do not listen to Lead Hearts. Someone bought that album for $10 and I wanted to refund them because I was like, I'm not going to let someone pay $10 for my first EP on a pay what you will. Oh, it was really sweet though. Like, I appreciated
Did you
it.
ever find out who it was?
Yeah, it was someone we played a gig with that night, and they were just trying to be nice. And I should have told them, I was like, buy this other album, please, so you'll have better music. But just download it anyway.
Well, actually, pleasure having you on. Love to see you when you stop gigging again. So, and when you do, come back on, and we'll listen to a few new tracks.
Hopefully, I'll bring some other friends along with me next time. But peace out, everybody.
All right. This has been WOMMLP out of Burlington, Vermont, 105.9 The Radiator at the Rocket Shop. I've been your host, Tom Proctor. I'll be here next week. Still not sure who we got next week.
It's
Bob?
a mystery.
It's a mystery. Tune in, we'll find out together. All right, see you.